right. I am showing 7 o'clock, so let us come to order.
Arnold,
Here.
Beckwith,
Here.
Farcapisi,
Here.
Flores absent, Cotsinis,
Here?
Hamilton,
Here.
and Sutton.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mission statement. The Warren Newport Public Library District provides the community with access to information, kindles the imagination of children and adults, and supports lifelong learning. That's what it says on here, but that's the old one.
That's that. To enrich and empower and engage.
Yeah, I was gonna say this.
Apparently we went over the template from July last year.
Okay,
or
so
something.
we'll need to fix our template. All right.
It was a test.
Yes.
Public comments. Does anyone wish to speak?
All eyes on
All right. Do we have any correspondence?
No, we don't have any.
Consent agenda. Do we have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I move that the consent agenda be approved as presented.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained. All right, nothing was removed. President's reports on page 6. Does any other trustee have a report today? Anyone? All right, executive director's report, page 7.
I was wondering what Patron Point is.
So Patron Point is our new, it's hard to explain. It's sort of a replacement of our email marketing software, but it does more than that. So it's kind of like Constant Contact on steroids, essentially. So we're still onboarding with it. So
Okay.
yeah, we're excited to have it, and that should help us. There's a lot of things it'll be able to do. So more to come on that.
Is it cheaper?
It's not, but we did budget for it last fiscal year, so it was something we discussed during the budget process. No, it's not. It's not
I
cheaper.
didn't ask that.
Yeah. But for example, one of the things we get with Patron Point that we want to turn online is where patrons go to the website and register online, and it will verify or authenticate their residential status. So that's one of the examples of things this thing can do. So that'll be great, because we for example, a lot of people might want a card just to check out books on Libby, and they may not take the step to come into the library, but they can get authenticated and hopefully come in and get a library card too. But yeah, so it's pretty cool.
So this is gonna show that I have what I think I know, this is related to small children. Who or what is Bluey?
Wow, Andrea, you gotta you gotta check it out. So Bluey is one of those rare children's shows that
It's like a Barbie
adults
thing?
will love as well. It's really
It's
really
so
cute.
spoiled.
Do you kids
I
watch Bluey?
hated it. I
Yeah.
hated Barney.
Yeah, no, it's super.
I told my children I was afraid of the big purple monster.
Yeah, no, it's a super cute show, and it's very, very popular right now. And yeah, it attracted we were ready for it because we heard that the libraries had an event like this and had hundreds of people, and we did, and the staff did a really amazing
Yeah,
job.
561, I don't think we've ever had.
That's incredible.
I can't
That's
remember a
unbelievable.
library event with that
Yeah.
many participants.
It was a drop-in event, we had 450 in the first hour.
Oh, wow.
Where did
Wow.
we do this?
Outside
Outside?
the meeting room, and they had, it was kind of amazing. So people were lined up before it started, all the way down the entire lobby and into by the info desk. And then we had segmented lines for pictures, because we had a Bluey character, we had a Bingo character. It was really, really well orchestrated, but there was a lot of people.
Wow.
Yeah.
Maybe
Lot of
future ones
small
will have to be
children.
first half of the alphabet, last name, and
Because
then
they kept
second half.
moving through, and the entire library was full. So it wasn't that they just came to the meeting rooms for the event and then left. It was
They
literally, they stayed. It was
Nice.
really, really wonderful.
Wow.
the point was full, Coco's was full.
Yeah, that was the point, not just for there.
Well, good job, everybody.
Yeah,
I'm gonna,
really
Yeah.
grand idea.
now I'm gonna have to go figure out what this is. Is it on television? Is it on?
Yeah.
It is. Yeah, it's like it's a Disney show, so Disney Plus, and you can probably watch some clips on YouTube. I'm sure there's free stuff out there.
It's Australian.
It is Australian, yeah. And we probably have some Bluey DVDs, I imagine. So there you
Maybe
go.
on the shelf.
Maybe on the shelf. You can request them, get on the list.
It's probably a long list.
Yeah.
And I see the boiler retubing
I
completed
was just gonna say
successfully.
that, George, I'm so
Yes,
excited to see
yeah,
that.
it is, so you might recall the last couple of meetings, it's been kind of, yeah, cold, but, yeah, so that's, happy to have that behind us, so we ended up saving a lot of money in the process, so the guy that installed it, he thinks it'll last another 15, 20 years, so we'll see. Knock on wood.
Yeah.
Who's gonna remember that?
Well, I've heard different numbers from different people.
But I mean, somebody here's gotta remember that.
Yes.
I'm not gonna, I remember these things, but I'm not gonna.
But they also told us those rooftop units are gonna last a lot longer than they did. I'm not trying to be negative, but we'll see. But anyway, we saved a lot of money, and we at least got ourselves probably a decade, because we, remember when we were looking at paying, what, hundreds of thousands of dollars for a new boiler. So, yeah, it was good. It was a good project. The other thing I just want to point out, because it bugs me, you might have noticed this, is our stats are really wonky because the plus involves CCS, and I still, even after talking to Amy Meyer several times about this, it's confusing what these stats mean. But what I think we're going to move to moving forward is have a column of stats of just our items that circulated, and then a column that specifically just lists the CCS items that came from CCS libraries that we checked out, because right now it's this mishmash, and you'll see, like, I understand why this is negative, so we're gonna get these statistics cleaned up. I just wanted to point that out, because if you look at some of these columns and you're like, that doesn't make any sense, I would agree with you. So we're gonna get that cleaned up.
All right. Any other questions on the executive director's report?
Oh, one thing I'll mention, George, into this report, is George and I kind of talked about, I saw a couple messages about the, attempted assassination attempt of the former president, and it's just some call for some, civility in our society. And we talked about, should the library issue a statement? So I wanted to bring it up tonight. That said, no other libraries have issued a statement. It might be perceived as us being political, even though I think calling for civility in our, discussions with one another, but despite our differences, is not particularly political. But I just wanted to ask, to see if the board would agree with that, or if you wanted us to pursue that avenue. I mean, at this point, after doing some research, I kind of feel like, we don't need to do that, but I thought I'd throw it out there for the board to reflect on.
I'm not interested. We haven't done any political
Right, I agree.
statements for,
Yeah.
we've had lots of mass shootings, and we've never said anything about it.
Well, does it have to be tied into the politics of it, and just stating about being civil, or something like that? I mean, would you want to tie it into what just happened? Is that what you're saying?
Well, I was probably overthinking this that morning, because I was thinking about it, and I saw some organizations that issued some things, and a lot of politicians had. But that's why I'm thinking my recommendation to the board would be not to issue something. I think hopefully it's common sense that as a public library we stand for civility and we serve all, and we, obviously people have differences and political philosophies and all kinds of differences, but ideally the public library is one of those places that people, and they do come together and they have a peaceful dialogue with one another and, respectfully agree and disagree with each other, so. But,
And we've tried to make materials open to represent every point
Absolutely.
of view equally.
mhm.
What more can we do?
Okay, that's good. Just wanted to throw that out there, just doing my due
Do we
diligence here.
register people to vote here?
We do.
Mhm.
Mhm.
That's what I thought.
All right. I do see the pictures of the new sign on here as well.
Yeah, that's on the agenda, a few items down, but yes, the new sign is finished and it looks really good. So if you didn't notice it when you came in, now it's obstructed a little bit depending on your angle, but it's better than what was there before, so I think we're all pretty happy with it.
What's obstructing it, Brian?
Oh, just our landscaping, yeah, depending on the angle,
Oh,
yeah.
I see. Yeah, that, the lines, I saw it. I see what you mean. Yeah. Yeah, I thought it looked great.
Okay. If no other questions, let's move on to the space audit.
Thank you for the idea, Catherine.
So, Wednesday, July 24th, David will be here to present. He has asked if, he asked me, so he's worked closely with an architect, Joe Huberty, and he's like, do you want Joe Huberty to be there so we could talk about like potential costs and stuff like that? And I said, well, wait a second, is Joe Huberty gonna charge to come to this meeting? And he's like, no, he's just there for information. So he's like, not expecting anything, so I was very clear with David. Listen, we're not, if we move forward with this, we're gonna do our due
Doesn't
diligence.
commit us to
Yeah.
this particular-
Yeah, exactly. So,
It's kind of scaring me though, that it's gonna be big money if there's an architect involved.
yeah, well, with any of our projects, we have an architect involved, even some of the smaller, projects, so. So they're gonna come next week, and David asked me not to share the draft report with the board, because he wants to explain it himself, make sure there are no misunderstandings. And it's very visual too, so I think he'll wanna, we spent, a good 90 minutes when we first looked at it with him, so he walked us through the report, and you'll have plenty of chance to ask questions, and it's really, really insightful, and even if you don't agree with everything in the report, and we didn't agree with everything, but a lot of it will kind of open your eyes to how our users see the library, because all of us here have either been using this library for decades, or I've been here for 10 years, and maybe I noticed some things when I got here, but I just kind of got used to it, and we kind of get comfortable, and yeah, so it's good to see from this perspective now various types of users see the library, how they use it, so it's going to be really insightful, and we'll see what we can do as a result of the report, so.
I was in the other day, and I've noticed how many people stop and look at all the new books, where before they were tucked, just a little bit off, and that when you look down the aisle, you see all the people behind that desk. It's really great. I like it.
Yeah.
Plus, I brought 2 new books that I had said before. Unfortunately, yeah, it's working.
You don't have a stack of books ready to read at home, you're not doing the library, right?
I know, it's true. Bring one back, take it.
So I thought I would walk the board through a couple of these changes and what's been working, what hasn't been, because one of the things that we talked about at the last meeting was to do some experimentation this summer while we're quieter before the kids get back in school, which is like a month from now, and talk about the results. So, the welcome desk, which was a circulation desk, still circulation, but now we're able to do more services for patrons. So if you want to sign up for a program, if you want to place a hold, you don't have to go further into the library for those services, and that is going well. Then David will talk to us a lot about marketplaces, the idea of merchandising our collection. We moved that shelving that was back here up there because we wanted to, he suggested you should have some items in right when people come in, like new books, because that's what people are coming in for. So we did use what we have, and that's not ideal shelving, and we got feedback initially that, wow, it's dark, so Miguel and Victor found some lights, and we installed some pretty inexpensive lights to shine on the collection, and since then, now the complaint is that this shelving isn't ideal. So yeah, well, it's not ideal for that space, but I think that's going well, and I notice all the time, walk by there several times a day, and there's always books missing, so I'm pulling out a book and replacing it, which is exciting, because before, I didn't necessarily have that experience with all of our new book displays, so that's exciting. So we're finding readers for our books. Information desk, has been moved up, full service desk. In addition, getting help, whether you're adult reference question or youth question with a museum pass, you can do some basic checkouts there. We can issue library cards and some basic tech help. And so that's nice because it is further, your patrons reaching us sooner, and they're getting welcome sooner. So I think one of our fears was, well, is that going to impact our experience for our younger patrons? Well, no, because we're seeing them sooner and we're able to greet them and ask them what they need. So, so far so good. Then the study room kiosk, we have a self-service kiosk. So if you want to use a study room, you don't have to go check in with anybody. You can go and just use the little kiosk, which is nice, very easy to use. And we're working on the website update, so you'll be able to book from home to the website. So
The library card.
do we have a date on that?
It should be up by the end of the week.
End of the week, okay, so. And people have loved the kiosk, that's been a big hit.
Yeah.
It reduces that friction point. The tech help desk, easier to jump on a computer. You don't need to show your card and get a guest pass, that you can just log in. The logins are on this computer, so you sit down and log in. It's much quieter, because one of the things that we, during these changes, is we realized, okay, we need to change the phone system. And as we were talking about it, we realized, why do we even have this phone tree? People hate this stuff. So we thought, what if we just have real people answer the phone? I know it's a crazy idea. So that's what we're doing. And it's working really well, and we don't have phones on the service desk on the floor so far, and that's been nice, because one of the things we've discovered is if you go over where the computers are, much quieter than it used to be, especially during if you come in the afternoon before, we're really loud over there, you know, because the adult services desk, they were helping people with technology and get study rooms and everything else, and the phone's ringing, and it was crazy, it was loud, because the sound, it carries in this building. So now, not that it's like completely quiet out there, but it's much better experience. So I'm really thrilled about that. Staff are getting to know each other better, and that's from shelvers to the executive director. I did my first shift on the tech help desk on Monday. I'm not spending a lot of time. That's not what you're paying me, but it's been good. I've been able to interact with many more staff than I was before. We have staff that didn't work together, working together, so that's been really good. Security is in a better position where they can still see everything, but they're not like right in the front, and like people walk in, that's like, oh, they've got security at the front. What do they have security? So that's good. We've got most of our new cameras installed, and that helps with the sight lines. And staff overall, they've been doing great. And there have been some staff that are not thrilled with the changes. It's not 100% everyone's like, this is amazing, but I think the majority of staff are doing well, and they like the changes. There are still some people that are adjusting, which was to be expected.
Right.
So it's not all perfect, and we're finding things, and
Yeah.
it's certainly, George was here, last week when we talked about the agenda, and you commented like, yeah, that information desk is not perfect, and it really
It's
isn't.
nowhere near perfect.
Yeah, but we're using the tools we have, the best we have to.
Gathering data, so
Yeah.
if we do purchase something, we'll know what kind of footprint it needs to have.
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
Yeah, I think the biggest issue is just even the power needs that it has.
Yes.
Running on the floor power cords to it is not ideal at all.
No.
Because it's divided that entire space in half.
Yes. Yeah, so if you look out there, you'll see one of the downsides is that we had to put the desk there, we had to run cords, and we covered them, but we realized, okay, this is a real big liability issue, so we had to, basically stretch one of those stanchion things to divide it, because otherwise someone would trip.
Yes, for sure.
So definitely not ideal.
Yeah.
Definitely not.
It breaks up the flow between adult services and youth services a little too much, I think.
But if we decide that that's a place where the desk makes sense for every other reason, then we would figure out how to put the power there where it wouldn't, break that up. But we wouldn't want to invest in anything until we know that makes sense for all the other reasons that we would want to make a change.
Yeah. So any questions about any of the changes or comments, concerns, observations, things you like, things you don't like? Not sure yet.
We've had budget for an adult services furniture refinishing for a while. And I know that keeps getting pushed back. Are we planning to use that in conjunction with this project?
I mean, it's certainly a possibility. I think we'll see what the board thinks next week. And so what I will tell you about the report is the way he's laid out the report, there's a short-term plan and a long-term plan. And the short-term plan, we could do, and once again, this is just a tentative plan, there are things we could change. I think with the short-term plan, we certainly, if we were to use those funds that we keep pushing down the road for that adult space refresh that we, went into 2019, 2020 to do, we could do that, if we wanted to. But a long-range plan would require, us getting our debt paid off, I think, realistically, so.
Trying to figure out how to make it look a little less, it looks improvised.
Yeah, oh, for sure.
It very much
Well,
looks
I
improvised.
like the testing it out
Yeah,
before it gets permanent, because it sounds like you're learning a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but no, I completely agree. It would require an investment, and that's where it will be valuable to have Joe Huberty there, because he'll have more insight into like the cost of these things. Based on conversations that we've had with David, it sounds like he thinks we could do a lot of this stuff. Because the good news is, a lot of these changes are just like for the marketplace, new display shelving with face outs. So we're talking like furnishings. We're not talking major demolition or something like that. So
Yeah, we gotta bust up the cement for plumbing or electricity, that's where the big money's coming.
yeah. So stay tuned. So if you can make it, great. If not, David said, he would set up a call with the trustees that can't make it, and we'll see if we can record it. So.
all right. Any other questions on this topic? Moving on to surveillance system.
So I have to be honest, I'm a little disappointed about the pace of this project. And we were somewhat, maybe not guaranteed it would be done by the end of June, but we had hoped to have this system installed, and I think there was time to do it. They have ran into some technical issues with switches and plugging into the switches we have, and I know when I talked to Smriti the other day about it, she was going to connect with Ray Martin at the company we're working with to figure that out. But that said, it's a nice system, and we have coverage inside the building, but we still don't have do we have any external cameras or none, other than the old system, which we still can use the old Honeywell system. Yeah, it's not ideal, but we'll have it ready for back to school, which is really when we need it. So, the system's nice. The implementation of the system, I've been disappointed with, based on what we were told. But so these projects go.
Any questions on the security system update? All right, let's move on to signage, page 19.
Yeah, I think signage referred to what we talked about.
Yes.
Yes. So, any questions about that sign again?
It looks cool.
Yeah.
All right, nothing else there. Moving on to the director's quarterly review, page 20.
The big outstanding goal is the strategic marketing plan, and it has with all the changes with the staff realignment, all the changes we've been making. Admittedly, this has gotten pushed a little bit later than we had intended. So, the marketing committee is meeting next week to finalize our draft of that strategic marketing plan. Then we'll take it to management team, and then we'll talk about it. Probably realistically at the September committee of the whole. And we are meeting this week to talk about our website, because not only do we short term have to figure out some things with the website, we need to come up with our long term strategy. I noticed that, and there's some of the libraries I'm going to talk to. I noticed that Waukegan actually put an RFP for a new website, which I thought kind of was an interesting approach, because I think a lot of times libraries will hire a professional consultant to do it. So I'm going to talk to Tiffany over at Waukegan and see what their thought process was. Deciding to go out to bid versus doing interviews with consultants. And that type of
Could it
thing.
just be dollar amount? They have to go to bid?
I'm not sure. I mean, you know, it's, could be, yeah. So,
Technicality.
yeah.
Well, if I remember correctly, we don't need to go to bid for professional services. If it's something that, like an architect or what have you, but I don't know if a web designer falls into that category.
Yeah.
I would think that they would, but additionally, we usually like to follow the spirit
We
of
do.
the law. Just so, we'll have to, I'd be very interested to hear what you find out.
Yeah. So. Yeah, so stay tuned for that. Any questions about these goals? We, as the board knows, the board passed that staff recognition policy and, yeah, any other questions?
All right. Moving on to new business. Approval of Secretary's report, minutes of regular meeting for June 18th. It's on page 21. Catherine, you were not present for this one, so you'll have to abstain.
I move-
Noted.
I move to accept the minutes of the June 18th board meeting as presented. I'll second.
All right, roll call, please.
Hamilton,
Aye.
Farkapisi,
Aye.
Arnold,
Abstain.
Sutton,
Aye.
Beckwith,
Aye.
Flores, absent, Cotsinis,
Aye.
ayes have it.
All right. Next, we have the financial statements for May 2024. Those are on page 26. Any questions on the financial statements?
Well, these are May, we're 11/12 complete with the calendar year, which, as we all know, we're now a month, almost a month into the next year. So, I didn't see anything that looked out of, that I had questions about. Wendy?
The only thing, the only question I had was, I noticed that adult services has spent a smaller percentage of their total budget than, say, youth services. Just wondered how that works. It's 80% versus 91%.
Are you looking specifically at materials for adult services? Wendy, or-
Where was it? Yeah, I think it was under materials. So, I can check and.
Hold on a second. Here, I pulled it up. Oh, so 80% overall expenditures.
Yeah.
What page are you on?
Of course, I didn't write the page number down.
I think it looks, just taking a quick look at this, it looks like they might have budgeted to, go to a conference that they didn't go to, because I see they've got a lot of money for staff costs and training that hasn't been spent. So, and I'm glad you brought that up, because one of the things I wanted to point out was in the report on page 26, for youth, staff costs over budgeted due to unbudgeted training. That's actually a case where we had budgeted money in administration for someone to attend PLA, and we sent a member of the youth staff to go instead. So even though it looks like, oh, they under budgeted, no, we actually,
Oh,
they,
just in a different
yeah, so I just wanted to point that out, that was money in the budget, and we thought, okay, we can't go, let's send one of our younger staff members, give them a chance to go to this conference. So just wanted to point that out. So I think that's what's happened with adult, is that there's money they anticipated to spend on a training or a conference, and they didn't get a chance to go.
And staff here doesn't, oh, it's at the end of the year, we gotta spend our budget. That was actually said my first year on the board. Oh, I'll make sure nobody sitting at this table was here then, in finance committee. And somebody said, oh, well, we'll remind all the managers to spend their budget. And I'm like, oh my God, I thought this was something that, urban legend, but. It's like, no, let's not do that. They either spend it as the budget is their marching orders, and if they don't need it or whatever, we're not gonna drop their budget. We basically do zero budgeting every year. So
Yeah.
nobody gets penalized for not
Yeah.
spending their budget. And, if they don't need it, they don't spend it. And, but,
And I think the staff has a pretty good understanding now that money that's not spent in the corporate fund typically gets rolled over to special reserve fund for these big projects. So it's gonna get spent one way or the other, just probably in future years when we've earned a little interest on it for a big project.
Yeah, well, and without that special reserve, we wouldn't have been able to get the new things on the roof. We wouldn't be able to be surviving this very lean time until we pay off our debt.
It's pages 53 and 54. Online. I do it electronically.
I know,
Oh,
this
that's
is
the-
very important.
Any other questions on the financial statements?
I move that we accept the May 31st financial statements as presented.
I'll second.
All right, roll call please.
Hamilton,
Aye.
Farcapisi,
Aye.
Flores absent, Sutton,
Aye.
Beckwith,
Aye.
Arnold,
Aye.
Kotsinis.
Aye.
Ayes have it.
All right. Ordinances. Let's start with 2024-2025-1 on page 87. It's our building tax and maintenance ordinance. Any questions on this one? If not, can we have a motion, please?
I move to pass ordinance 2024/2025-1 as presented.
All right, can we have a roll call on this one, please?
Arnold,
Aye.
Hamilton,
Aye.
Sutton,
Aye.
Farcapisi,
Aye.
Beckwith,
Aye.
Flores absent, Kotsinis.
Aye.
Ayes have it.
All right, page 88, non-resident library card program ordinance.
I have
Again.
a question.
Yes, go ahead.
That tax abatement for the interest, when do we do that?
It's one of the last it's early in the calendar year, so we did it
Okay.
for this year already. So
Okay.
so yes. Yeah, what is it? Is it January, February?
It has to be filed by January, I thought.
Okay, yeah, so we got a
Okay.
ways to go.
Sorry, George.
Okay, so this is the non-resident library card program. Again, just as reference, we do not usually participate in the non-resident program because we're legally not able to, since there is no area that doesn't have a library that we are the closest to. So can we have a motion for this one if there are no questions?
I move to pass ordinance 2024/2025-2 as presented.
I'll second.
All right, roll call please.
Sutton,
Aye.
Farcapisi,
Aye.
Beckwith,
Aye.
Arnold,
Aye.
Hamilton,
Aye.
Flores absent, Kotsinis.
Aye.
Ayes have it.
All right. And then ordinance 2024-2025-3, our budget and appropriation ordinance.
Wow.
So just as a reminder, the budget reflects what the board already passed, so we've already done a lot of heavy lifting with this. So the other thing I wanted to point out with this is the tentative budget appropriation. So if the board did decide to make any changes to the budget, so let's say after that presentation, the board decided, yes, we should, spend more of the special reserve fund to facilitate some of these short-term changes to the building, it's not too late to do that. I mean, you want to amend the budget you passed, and then we would just update the budget appropriation ordinance in a couple of months, so.
I move to pass ordinance 2024-2025-3, tentative budget appropriation for fiscal year ending 2025 as presented.
I'll second that.
All right, roll call on this one, please.
Hamilton,
Aye.
Farcapisi,
Aye.
Sutton,
Aye.
Arnold,
Aye.
Beckwith,
Aye.
Flores absent, Kotsinis.
Aye.
Ayes have it.
All right, next we have the public hearing for the annual budget and appropriation. And we've got the hearing date is September 17th at 6:45 PM.
Can we change that to 7 like we did before? Instead of starting things at 6:45 in case people forget. We started at 7 and then the regular meeting at 7:15.
I don't object.
It's possible, sure, if you'd
Some
like.
people in the public would show up at some.
No, I'm just saying,
I mean,
and
it's a
nobody
possibility.
has to remind themselves that,
To
oh,
get
I have to
in
be
early.
here 15 minutes early.
Or you're gonna be in call.
Any thoughts? Anybody else?
I just think it makes it easier
Okay.
for people.
Seven it is. Can I have a motion for that?
I move that the public hearing for the annual budget and appropriation be set for Tuesday, September 17th, 2024, 7 PM.
I'll second that.
All right. Let's have a roll call again.
Who's second? Sorry.
Joe.
Joe, okay, thank you. Beckwith,
Aye.
Sutton,
Aye.
Farkapisi,
Aye.
Hamilton,
Aye.
Arnold,
Aye.
Flores, absent, Otsinis,
Aye.
ayes have it.
All right. Annual review or annual audit of secretary's reports.
I thought that was interesting that the jury report should have been, we couldn't because of the type.
There's still,
But I appreciate
I'll be
that you put that
shredding
in
them
there.
after the meeting. I move that the board approve the semi-annual review of closed executive session minutes as presented.
I'll second that.
All right, roll call for this one too then.
Beckwith,
Aye.
Flores absent, Sutton,
Aye.
Farkapisi,
Aye.
Hamilton,
Aye.
Arnold,
Aye.
Kotsinis,
Aye.
ayes have it.
And then the annual audit of secretary's reports for IPLAR. Brian. This is listed as information?
Yeah. So we are, when do we, it's like next month, right?
Yes, but
Yeah.
if you would like to review the minutes or do the audit, I have them ready if you wanna do it after the meeting. But if you wanna do it before the next regular meeting or after the special meeting, we have to appoint two people, or two people has to volunteer to do it.
I'll volunteer.
You volunteer, and who else? When do you wanna do it?
I'll do it during regular office hours tomorrow or whenever you want. I don't want you to have to stay late.
I prefer when the meeting is over or before, because the other person, if it's not available at the same time that you're gonna do
I
it.
can do it today after this meeting.
Okay, who would like to do it?
If you're gonna do that, I can stop and do this. Yeah.
Okay.
Meeting?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's great.
Okay,
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay.
I did this fast work of it.
I'll bring the documents after the meeting.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Then page 100, board policy 3048, the workshop.
I move the board policy 3048, the workshop be approved as presented.
I'll second.
All right. Now let's just do a roll, let's just do all in favor for this one. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Motion carries. Next policy is on page 103, FOIA.
I move that board policy 4030 FOIA be approved as presented.
I'll second it.
All right. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Also goes through. All right. Other potentially actionable items. Do you see what's on here for the agenda items for August? Is there anything else we should be adding?
For August, committee of the whole, I think I mentioned it before, I wanted to put on return. return, we return the books, book returns,
Oh,
under
okay.
building and grounds.
And I have for board policies, we have the 1065, harassment, discrimination, and retaliation, that it was sent by you, and
Okay.
3040 services to schools. But at the same time, if we're gonna do the 1065 board policies, we have to do the 703. I don't know if Jen needs more time
Yeah.
to work on this.
I will talk to her, because she said there were potentially some law changes that we need to look at for that policy, so
So,
let me,
uh-huh.
I'll talk to her about it and see if we can
Okay,
do
if
it. If
she
not,
has
if not, is
the-
there another, well, we can talk about their policies.
Right.
But, I'll find out, 703.
The other one for 3040 for services to schools, I don't know if that one will be delayed because of the right now, or do
It
we
should-
keep the
That one.
the draft that already,
Mhm.
it's done?
Yeah.
Okay,
The
so
other thing is-
definitely 3040 is gonna be okay.
We're doing a review of anything that mentions desks by name, whether it's youth or adult. So if there are any that we would bring, for instance, study rooms, it would be just those types of changes. So I will, work with Joe on that.
All right, anything else? Then public forum. Does anyone in the public wish to speak?
Yes, congratulations on the marketing award.
All right, announcements?
Hey, George, one thing I'll mention that's not on here is that, so the Friends of the Library book sale, August 10th, that's also Gurney Days weekend, so we will be in the Gurney Days parade. We haven't heard anything from them, as far as I know. I've not heard anything, so I'll have to reach out.
I'm not sure. I know that Scott's been working with
Yeah,
them, so.
yeah, so we'll find out. So you're always welcome, bring your family and friends to march in the parade. Also, the ribbon eating competition, we are looking for competitors, because I'm not gonna be able to do it this year. Mark, our previous champion, is not able to do it. So if any board members wanted to be in a ribbon eating competition, this is an opportunity.
I love little ribs.
How many do you realistically have to eat?
Well, just to compete, just as long as you can,
My
but,
son tells me
Like
that
20?
one of the tricks to winning is you have one person assigned eating and the other person is drinking, because they weigh the whole thing before, drinking the sauce.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh.
It's good sauce, it's not that bad. It's an experience,
It
so.
sounded pretty gross.
I don't
know if I want to.
So if you-
Yeah, if you and I wanna go, slowly, like get our napkin.
You could seriously. Yeah, you don't have to be all in it to win it. So anyway, the offer's out there. If you wanted to do it, shoot me an email. Or no, we may not have a team, because it is hard to get.
Oh, we can't not have a team.
I know, but the staff don't like,
Who wants to
because
do it?
who really wants to be in a competitive eating competition? Not too many
Drinking.
people.
I mean, I go to Gurney Days every year, one of the
Just
reasons
to watch
for the
that?
ribs.
Not to eat it.
I've watched it quite a number of times, and what I don't like is when you they announce, and the library, and people laugh. And we won quite a number of times.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Librarians
Yeah.
can't.
Well, unfortunately, one of our champions works in another library now, and the other one is retired from doing it. So we yeah.
But
We need-
did one of our champions work at this library at any time during this fiscal year? I
No.
think they qualify.
No, we're in trouble. We're in trouble. So
Children of staff.
Children.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my.
Family members.
I could ask.
I think you should essentially get Logan back for that one.
Really?
I like kids.
He's got experience,
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
represented them twice.
I'll find out. I'll find out. If you're serious, I'll find out.
I mean, I'm serious, I
Yeah.
bet he would come into town for that.
All right. So we have a maybe.
Possible.
Sure, Logan's gonna let me volunteering for that, Andrea.
Oh, he's volunteered twice before for Public Works.
Yeah,
Oh, my gosh.
he's older now and married, I believe.
But he still likes ribs.
Okay, fair enough.
Not only did he eat in the rib eating contest, then we had to buy him ribs that evening.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Like, more ribs.
Well, the thing is, I will say, I know we gotta get out of here, but you don't really fill up, because it's only 2 minutes, so it's so fast, you think that you wouldn't wanna eat, yeah, so it's not like you're like, I can't eat for 2 weeks after that, it's,
2 minutes, I
yeah.
can do that.
It's just 2 minutes. It goes
I was
fast.
thinking like 10 minutes.
It's fun to
Yeah.
do, it really is,
Yeah.
so,
You do it on the
2
stage
minutes.
in the pavilion over at,
Viking Park.
yeah.
Right, in front of all your
That's that
friends and family.
We could always put down Celeste and tell her she's doing it.
Okay, moving on.
Any board members have.
Oh, boy, I have to do it.
I have
Staff are on
Yes.
vacation.
the ILA conference, trustee day, is anybody?
You have the, what, repeat?
The ILA conference, trustee day, being in period.
Does
Is
anyone
anybody-
want to attend the ILA Conference Trustee Day?
October 10th,
October 10th?
yes,
And we
it's a
get-
Thursday.
And we're mentioning it now because there's early bird registration, so we get a bit of a break. I
And
think it's
where,
open
where
for
is it this year?
Peoria.
Civic Center.
Hey Gina, you have a son.
So, ILA Trustee Days, if anyone is interested, please reach out to Gina.
Right,
And it's October 10th, on Thursday.
right, and the early bird is from July 22nd until September 16th.
Oh.
So you still have
You've
time to
got-
think
You've got some
about
days
it.
to think about it, but think fast.
I'll be too good.
All right. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved. I'll second.
Okay,
you.
all in favor?
Hi.
Aye. Opposed? Abstained? We are adjourned at 7:46.